say the background of live demonstration is that you get an idea of what is possible. And so many of you already doing what I want to do in this sector. It's not nothing new. But just to give you an idea of what is possible, we have some students here, and we are looking for all of the students who are going to be today. And today we're going to be doing a short lesson. And so we're going to observe it's going to be maybe around 15 minutes, inshallah, and a short session. And after that, we'll take some questions from yourselves. So let's get right into it. And let's start with the students. Assalamu alaikum. So we're going to talk about a specific topic, and it's something that affects everyone in today's day and age, especially in the age of social media. Can anyone guess what the topic might be? And you can raise your hand and go ahead. Go ahead. No idea, but that's not the topic. Anyone else? Go ahead. Say it. Rumors. Well, I think it was a red my mind. Because it is exactly the topic that we're going to be talking about. Rumors. But if I ask you what rumors is, I think I might not be able to answer. Is that right? Yes. Okay. But I'm going to do a little activity to start off. And what we're going to do is, I'm going to tell you the first person, somebody is here. And after I told you something in here, you're going to tell the next person, and the next person, and check. You're only allowed to tell the person once. And then you're going to go back and tell him, and then he will pass it on. So let's do it in a very orderly fashion, without any extra words. And of course, when I find it funny, then don't laugh, because it's very serious. Okay, so we done a little activity here where we have told them something and you only have to tell them once. And the next time you want to are waiting, I want you to think about what rumors actually are. If you know what rumors are, then you need to keep in mind one point, not what rumors actually are. And I will talk to you, inshallah, of what that particular point may be. Okay. The purpose of this activity, of course, I'm sure you've already picked up, is the fact that we're sharing one item. Maybe by the expert is very good and actually know exactly what I said. Maybe down the line something changes. And so we find out. It's a live session. So I think we're getting clear about it at the end, inshallah. Which is close to what I said, but not exactly what I said. I said, I have a white cat. And it can be in my warehouse. And so as we went along, the cat came to cat. And I'm sure if we went longer, the warehouse would have been new house. And the purpose of this activity is for us to understand that rumors are something that is shared, but they are, and I will give you a example. They are incorrect. They are shared incorrect. So now you know the word rumor. Rumor is news and information that is incorrect, which is being shared, and it is something that is not going to be beneficial to people around it. I want to take an example from all of you of something that you have seen or heard, which you would term as a rumor. You think this is a rumor. Can someone or one of you share with me something, a story, an incident, something that you think is a rumor you have heard of? And it's not time to be shy. Of course, there's lots of people here watching you, but you don't know about them. Go ahead. So I'm going to select, because of course people are very excited. So I'm going to select student at the end. Yes. What's your name? Say it when you tell or what kind of school you might have heard false. Ronaldo is playing for Real Madrid again. Yeah, where does he play? You guys know. He plays another Ronaldo, something you already know about, another Saudi Arabia. So Ronaldo is playing for Real Madrid again, and of course there is fake news. But how do you want to fake news? You find out through social media that it's fake news. And how do you find out through social media that it's fake news? Yeah, that's a good point, because it's charity. So you know when you get false news, you get fake news, you must search it up. And we actually learn this from the Quran. You know that? Where did you learn it from the Quran? Does anyone know the ayah in the Quran? In which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us to search it up. Please have yourself. No? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا إِنْ جَاءَكُمْ فَاسِقٌ بِنَبَإٍ فَتَبَيَّنُوا. What does فتبينوا mean? Is check up. Make sure you are checking what you are finding out. You are reading. And so what our good friend Sayyid Muhammad did was that when he read about Ronaldo moving to Real Madrid, he decided that I think I need to check this up. And he researched it, he checked it up. And rumors, the easiest way to find out if rumors are correct or incorrect is if you actually go ahead and you search upon multiple locations, not just one place. Because there are lots of stories that are being shared, especially in places like Facebook or places like social media. But if you don't search elsewhere via the news website, then you might not actually know it. Now then, on the topic of rumors, can we get another example that you think is a rumor that you might have seen in the time that you've been using social media or online or anything else? And this time I'm sure you'll be very clear. I think we'll go at the back over here and we'll choose the second person at the back. Yes, sir. What's your name? Mohammed? Faizan or Faizan? Yes, sir. Mohammed, the example that you you're not getting any examples. Any return of your heart is going to come up. Some examples, you got to think of right now. I'm going to come back to you then. Until then, make sure you are ready. Yourself, what's your name? Muhammad Sufyan. Muhammad Sufyan, do you have an example for us? From the Prophet some time. Of course, why not? Very good. Battle of Uhud, Prophet was sent to be murdered. And the truth was that, of course, he hadn't been killed in the Battle of Uhud. But what do you think? Now let's speak about this. What do you think was the effect of this in the rumor in the Battle of Uhud, saying that the Prophet was being killed? What is the effect of it? What would have happened if people believed this rumor? Let me ask, before I go back to Muhammad Faisal again, I'll ask yourself. What do you think was the effect of this? Like someone saying, the enemy is saying the Prophet was being killed. So what is the effect of this? Someone in the search and try to find out. There we have a microphone. What is the effect, the impact? Take the microphone. There will be a no, the enemy is spreading the rumor, saying that the Prophet has been killed. They're saying that in retaliation, as a revenge, they will have a strong attack against the non-believers. And let's ask someone at the back of the screen. You gotta take the mind, isn't it? Tell me. The Prophet has been killed. Rumor. What rumor does this make? You're sitting on the mat and the sky is far. Go ahead, they will take the event. Okay, I'm still not getting the answer that I want. And I want you to think a bit deeper. The effect. They might start to sacrifice themselves after hearing what has gone on. This is one of the answers of the good job. Right. Anyway, very good point. This is the other point I was trying to get at. When the enemy was trying to scare the Muslims, just imagine the leader of the Muslims is dead. What will the Muslims do? Either they will take revenge, or they will think, well, our leader is dead. Now, what's the point? Fighting, they get scared, and they start to run away. Can you see now? The effect of the rumor would have been the defeat of who? Of the Muslims. The defeat of the Muslims meaning they would have lost an entire battle because of what? You know the speak up? Because of a rumor. One rumor, one false fake news would have resulted in the loss of an entire battle. Similarly, and for closer to home and closer to us, when we face a rumor online, at school, someone says something about someone, the first thing we must do is we must research, we must check, must make sure that whatever has been said is actually true or not. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has in the Quran, like I said, that al-Fasir بِنَبَأٍ مُتَبَيَّنٌ أَنْ تُصِيبُوا قَوْمًا بِجَهَالَةٍ to end up hurting someone, without knowledge, ignorance. For example, someone tells one the place of the you know, this guy goes out, he's saying this and this about you. So woman plays with the timing, and he goes there, wants to fight him, he wants to sort him out, beat him up. So why are you saying things like this? But actually, nothing like that happened. So now, after he does this, he gets told to the principal, and the principal says, well, what happened? And then he says, well, he said this about me. And then the boy says, well, I didn't say it. And now we have a big problem. And then he has to regret his actions. Are you understanding the point of what rumors are? Rumors are? What are rumors? Go on, louder. Fake news, false news, things that are made up to create chaos. This is what rumors are. We also understand the harms of rumors. The fact that just a single rumor would destroy a person's life. That is how dangerous it is. In fact, let me give you an example of rumors in India. You know, on WhatsApp. You guys use WhatsApp? All of you use WhatsApp, I'm sure, right? On WhatsApp, how many people can you forward messages? How many people can you forward messages? At once, 5 people. Do you know that? You know? Yes. Depends on which way, yeah? Good. So, at once you forward 5 people. And you can only forward to, if it's a multiple forwarded message, you can only forward it once to one group. Correct? Do you know where this rule came from? Why did WhatsApp put this rule down? Because people were spreading rumors. Where? In India. If you do the Google search, you can actually find out that there was a lot of hatred being created between people, and people are forming the entire group to go and fight someone, beat them up, even though they have done nothing. And they even ended up killing a few people. And because as a result of this, WhatsApp decided, because what has happened before, you should have in the olden days, you could forward to 256 groups of 256 people. So if we do the math, we'll do that math. Do the math? 2 by 6 by 2 by 6. Go on. I'm not doing the math side, I can't do it. Any guesses? Someone said about somebody actually said that 65,000 536 from Russia. You're a genius here. The 65,000 people, if you send a message to at the same time, and what used to happen was that people were ending up doing things illegal or understood based on the number. So going back to our main point, which is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us the danger of rumors. And not only has Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us the danger of rumors, we also know the danger based on what we see in our surroundings from the stories that we have just shared. And before I get to the final theme, I will go to Muhammad later. You will see me in your safe. Yes, Muhammad later. Yes, very good point, mashallah. And we can end with that because COVID ended everything. COVID time, there were many people that were spread as well. People were spreading for no reason, scare others, and there was not much reality in many of those things. Anyway, to end on, think about another message from Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in which he says, "Kafa bil mar'i kadiban, kafa bil mar'i kadiban, ay muhaddithan bima sami'a." It is enough for a person to be called a liar. Does anyone want to be called a liar? Of course not. It is enough for a person to be called a liar that he narrates everything that he hears. Doesn't check, doesn't bother. And in this day of social media, and this day of online messaging, it is so common, very common, that anyone receives something, Emirates Airways, free flights because they are 50 years old. So they are very free flights. Send it, and your data is stolen. Someone will say, Amazon, they are celebrating 25 years, they will give you 500 rupees or 1,000 or 10,000 rupees of vouchers. And what, before looking, you sell it. Before looking, you sell it. And people end up using their data, this. You understand? This is the purpose of checking what we have been, what we have been sent, what we have been told, or been said. So in summary, I'm going to ask someone to summarize for us. So while I am explaining what you're going to summarize, you better get ready to but I'm going to choose now. I'm going to ask you for what it is. So, as a summary, I just want to hear what rumors are and an example of the danger they pose. An example of a danger of rumors. What could happen if rumors were spread? So what is a rumor? And what could happen if a rumor is spread? Why do you have the microphone in this? And let's select someone. Yourself. I think it's on, right? You got to see the go ahead. What is a rumor? And what is the danger of rumors? Yeah, respect. Okay, and what is the rumor? False assumption. So that is one person, and the second person is yourself. Tell us and remind us what is the rumor, and don't tell me what you said about the example, another example of the danger of rumors. So it's really not true. So they know what is the rumor? Let's start with that. A false message, or where can we find rumors? Often. Social media, and what happens when this rumor spread? Very good. Misunderstandings will happen. So I think that's our lesson complete, in which we have just covered the topic of false rumors. Not false rumors. Rumors are always false. Talk about fake news. We talked about social media and the dangers, and we talked about why rumors are bad and why we should always verify and check what information we are receiving and we are sending. That's dismissed. السلام عليكم. Now, this is one example, and I'm sure any of you are teaching in this manner. And I want to ignore you throughout my finding that is over there, because you just need to see what a lesson could be when we try to engage them. Of course, they have stage fright and put up people and what they and they don't know what to say or how to say it. And so sometimes they get stuck. I'm sure, but you take responsibility from them. Then your lesson becomes never. The lesson is not about me. The lesson is in fact about students. And so that is one example. We didn't have a PowerPoint presentation, whatever. We didn't have a particular activity, whatever. We have a particular activity that we don't have any right. So these are also elements you can add into your lesson as well, and you can get the lessons completed that are done in that amount of time, and we've done this about 3 minutes. All right, so I think we can conclude there, and we now get to the questions. So the microphone will be passed out, and you ask the questions, and while that is happening, I'll just show you one element. I'll share my screen so people online can also see. Actually, we have so many activities here we didn't do, right? The people are coming out. And those of you who are looking at the screen right now and thinking, you know, what's this? This is a Google Chrome with the extension, visualize the Quran and open it. If I refresh, there's another one there. If I refresh again, there is another one there. Every time you open it, you hide the Quran and it makes you quick, you know. So it's a nice extension to have. In any case, let's quickly show you the example model. Those of you that know about the example, just try to raise your hand. Does anyone know about the example model? Have used it? Anyone use the example model? No, one, two, maybe some people. All right. Well, I guess I'll show you then. I'm just going to log into my account. It is you have to log in, free of charge, and only the administrator should sign up, not the teachers. Then when the administrator is approved, for example, the administrator of Salah School signs up, and the administrator is approved, then the administrator will create a council for teachers. Then we have an own account, the administrator will make it, and you don't apply yourself. So if you're not an administrator, don't try to apply it. So let's say, for example, you've got a data paper. Once I log in, you know me from the one in the middle. When I click on that, then I've got the books. These are the different books, of course. I'm going to click on course book 1. Course book 1 has 7 subjects, just like every other book will have 7 subjects. I will select the subjects I want to make an exam for. I can make all of them, some of them, one of them, whichever one. So I'll choose 3 for now. And then I will get all the topics that exist within those subjects. And when I can expand one, you can see here that each question has the number of marks, the number of minutes, and then it is easily over. And so if you want to see the question, you can just click on the plus, and you will add the question to the right hand side. Then you click on the next one. Then on the third one, and behind this project bar, you can see at the bottom here, these numbers are adding up. There's 3 questions in this paper, 5 minutes paper, and 8 marks on this paper. Click and you see it changes. And then I have more questions here, I have 3 minutes if I want to work, and they've already added here. If I want to move it, say, you know, this tick box exercise, I think this is question 1. So I move it up. And you can see the question number changes. But right now, click here because question 1. So we got all of the questions. Now I'm happy with this paper because it's a 14-minute paper. I'm happy. Now I just need to check the answers. The answers are here also. They're ready for you. I want to save it. I can click here. I give it a title. C1 voice, or another +1 voice, whatever the name of it is. The name is not saved. You can come back to it later and you can then add more to it if you want. On the other hand, if you want to export it, you're ready to export, then you will export the paper by clicking on the export button. You have the option to remove the mark scheme, which is the answers. To include the cover sheet, which is the front sheet with your own logo. When you sign up, your logo is requested, so that logo will be automatically put on the cover sheet, and your title and subtitle class. The instructions, you can put your own instructions if you want, or you can leave it blank and you put your own instructions. Let's say we just give it some titles here. And now I can download it as a PDF document, or I can download it as a Word document. I have my own additional questions or editing, changing, translating, whatever you want to do. Click on export. It will export as a PDF zip file. If I have
You can see this is the mark scheme, the answers, and after I finish with the answers, I can print these, of course, if I want to, for my own use. And then I've got the questions. As you can see here, from my institution, my logo is there already. Then you can see the titles I put in there are here. The name of the student will go at the top when they write it. The instructions, the default instructions are all here, information, advice. The number of marks are also written here for you. That's the automatic marks. And then the question is pre-formatted. You don't have to sit there to make the formatting of the paper. It is ready-made for you to actually answer on the paper itself. Circling, filling in the blanks, any type of questions, whichever question. If you want to use this in your class also, you can utilize it. If you have questions that you want to share with us, for us to add on the system, then we can also add them also. So that's the exam portal. I can go to my papers, for example, and you'll see these are my previous papers. I can edit them, I can download them, I can delete them. All of this can be done. So this is the An-Nasiha exam portal. So if you haven't signed up to it, which I guess most of you haven't, then it will be something that we should sign up to. And then we've got the An-Nasiha Teachers Forum. The An-Nasiha Teachers Forum is a bank of resources that you can download free of charge. So I think soon you will be gifted with a diary. You see the boxes that have been moving around a little while ago. You will receive a gift of a diary, inshallah, and a calendar for 2024. The back of the diary, it has the QR code for the Teachers Forum and for the exam portal. So you can directly find it very easily. So in this, you'll see, Black History Month, for example, talking about the Sahaba who were dark-skinned, of African origin possibly. Then we talk about summer camps. These are some booklets for that. Quizzes for grade 7 Seerah, Hadith coloring booklet, Ramadan check. Ramadan's coming up soon, so you're going to prepare them for Ramadan. You've got a checklist there. Preparing for Ramadan is a PowerPoint presentation. Huffaz al-Taraweeh preparation seminar. So if you want to prepare the Huffaz, it's in English, it's PowerPoint, you can translate it, edit it, use it, up to you. Daily du'as, PDF. Like that, you've got lots and lots of resources. I can search, for example, right now is December. So people in England, they're searching for resources to do with Isa alayhi salatu wassalam. And because in the school, they're teaching them about Christmas and X, Y, and Z. So the madrasa, maktab, Islamic schools, they want to teach them also. And so you search up the word Isa alayhi salam, and you'll get worksheets, booklets, there's posters, PowerPoint presentations, quizzes, all sorts of things that you can download. So this is the Teachers Forum. This is also free of charge. You go to the An-Nasiha website, absolutely free of charge, you use it. The idea, the whole idea behind An-Nasiha is to support teachers. We're not here to say, okay, take the books and that's it, finish. Assalamu alaikum. It's to take the whole methodology, the ethos, to say, it's actually make the life of the teacher easy. That's the whole purpose, so that they can do their job, which is to actually teach, inshallah. So I'll stop there, and I will go ahead and invite questions. And so if you have any questions, you may raise your hand, the microphone will be passed to you, and then we can, inshallah, take it from there. Of course, if you don't have any questions on that question, then I can go on and speak. But no, I think it's good to have questions because this really helps with understanding some of the particular concerns and questions. So the point of that story was to say that as individuals we have our own, as teachers, we have our own private life. And in our private life we have issues. But the issues of the private life should not come into our classroom. My question basically But at the moment, this point that has been mentioned, we have not substantiated it from the Sunnah, it's substantiated from the experience of teachers. And so, of course, not everything is substantiated in the Sunnah, and this point is particularly based on experience, not on the How do you conclude that this is not against the Sunnah? Sunnah is not the base of principle. How do you say that this principle is not against it? That's not possible. It is something against it. How do you prove that it is not against it? You tell me what. Is there a way that we can say that this is against the Sunnah? I don't know. Exactly. And I don't know as well. We see what is this is the point, as you mentioned, it is an experience of experienced teachers who have found it to be of benefit, and maybe there is evidence for it of the Sunnah, but we are unaware of it. So, my question related to lesson design, and you said how to make the lesson design well. We are to follow the pre-class activities. What are the things we need to mention in the pre-class activities so that students will understand the lesson? When you say pre-class activities, what are you referring to? Yes, I will say that. Before that, I have to suppose I am taking information recording. How can you pre-class activity on a particular topic? I'm really sorry, I think it's the sound. I can't actually make out your question. Suppose I'm a teacher and I'm going to take a lesson about market economy or international economy. How can I make a lesson design about that in pre-class activity? How can you? Prepare a lesson design in the pre-class activity. What are the pre-class activities I have to do so that the students can understand the whole scenario of the lesson? So you want to prepare an activity before the class? Yes, sir. For the students to prepare? Yes, sir. You're talking about economics or business or something like that? Yes, sir. Of course, as an experienced teacher, you know what content you're going to be preparing and delivering. And so beforehand, from the previous lesson, what you have covered, you would be devising specific objectives that you want to reach in the next lesson. No, suppose it could be my first lesson. Suppose it would be my first lesson. So how are we going to do pre-class? This concept of pre-class activities that is at the beginning of the class. At the beginning of the class, there's something called diagnostic starter. For example, a diagnostic starter is where you have you are trying to find out what the children know. So you ask the students a question. Let's say you're doing business, and in terms of business, there may be a principle that you're going to be teaching about. So you allude towards it, and you ask the students what they know about a particular principle. They don't know. Maybe they know. right? And I'm not a business teacher, so I would say, I'll give you another example of Hajj, right? Let's say for Hajj. Now, children who are in class 5, they will not know what Hajj is. Maybe they have just the name of Hajj in their mind. So, pre-class activity, at the beginning of that class, you've never told Hajj before, you would have a diagnostic starter where you are trying to find out how much they know. So, you would ask a question, right, boys and girls, or whoever you have in front of you. We are going to be studying a topic, and the topic is of Hajj. Before we get into the topic, I would like you to tell me what you know about Hajj. Anything related to Hajj. So someone will say that Hajj is something that you do in Makkah and Medina. So you write that on the board. Someone will say that Hajj is something where you go around the Kaaba. So you write that on the board. Hajj is where you go to the Shaitan. So you write that down also on the Kaaba, on the board. And so you have that discussion with the students in 2-3 minutes of what they know. And based on what they give you a lot of information, and you know that they have a general idea of the subject already. Now you don't need to start with the absolute basics, but the next step would be that based on what they have told you, you know what knowledge needs to now be imparted to the students. So in that short amount of time, at the beginning, the starter, that's what we call it, you are basically finding out how much they know, even though it's the first time, and then based on that, you're moving on to the next activity. I'm going to stand here because they said there's people online waiting. Ji. So there's no child is the same. So no child, children are not the same. Of course, every child will have their own differences, every child will have their own abilities, and every child will have their own limitations also. And the question is that, do you see a difference in the result of teaching based on research and teaching based on the Sunnah? Is it the same result that you get, or is it different? Correct? That's the question. Correct. Right, okay, yes. Yeah, so does it make it, so does the research allow you to get to the same level as a student who's already talented, gifted, well-to-do, right? So in that situation, like I mentioned, students are different, limitations are different. No student will ever be the same as anyone else. So you're going to try to get to a mi'yar, as they call them. You try to get to a level. And that level is going to fluctuate, it'll be different, it won't be exactly the same, but you're trying to lift them all up at the same time. Not leave someone behind because they have no capability, or they have low capability, and because this one is good, then you continue with them. So to try to bring both of them together, they won't be the same, but there will be at least a rise in here and a rise in there also, both sides. It depends on the students, it depends on the teacher, it depends on the style that has been utilized. You know, the answers that we give today, nothing is concrete. Of course, you cannot say tomorrow that, okay, this style we're going to use tomorrow and a year later we're going to have 100% results. Never. It's a variety of chances and variables and varieties, inshallah. Any questions from the sisters? If you want to write the question and send it forward, that would be useful as well. If you want to speak it, you can pass the mic on, inshallah. Jimon. How to teach? Aqaid. Yeah, aqaid is a difficult one. Then you're going to get into tajsim. And you're going to get into lots of different things, right? Okay. Aqaid with real life examples is not supposed to be something that you have to be very careful. Even when we have in our books, if you look at the Aqidah section, you'll find very few stories in there, very few examples in there, because Aqidah is something that's very delicate. It has to be mentioned in a specific way, written and understood in a specific way. And so with real life examples have to be actual examples of individuals practicing X, Y, and Z based on the Sunnah, based on Hadith, and that's about it. We can't go further in explaining. You can use examples. It is possible to use examples, but it is not wise to go overboard with those examples. And for that you need ilm and knowledge. And if we don't have it, then we go to the ulama and we seek it. Any further questions? In fact, actually, just one moment, sorry. I've got a better idea, which I forgot. The questions should actually come up on the screen. So if you just go back to your AHA slides, and you just want to type your questions. There you go. You want to type your questions, then we will put those questions, we will answer those questions, inshallah. Ji Maulana, sorry. Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Yeah, so if you look, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in the hadith explains Jannah in various ways. He says, Labinatum min dhahab, wa labinatum min fidda, wa milakuha al-miskul asfar. It's a description, right? It's a description. But then he also describes, فيها ما لا عين رأت ولا أذن سمعت ولا خطر على قلب بشر. But he explains using what we know. There is an explanation where one, subhanallah, will build a tree for you in Jannah, right? And Jannah is وَلَكُمْ فِيهَا مَا تَشْتَهِ أَنفُسُكُمْ وَلَكُمْ فِيهَا مَا تَدَّعُونَ. You draw it in Jannah, Allah will give it to you. So you don't know what Jannah looks like. But based on our limited imagination, how Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam have explained in Quran and Hadith, using examples to make us think and to motivate us to work for Jannah, we can also try to imagine some things that we want in Jannah. I want a big house in Jannah. I want a car in Jannah. I want this in Jannah. I want that in Jannah. And so we make a drawing of what we think we want in Jannah, and we make dua that Allah will give us thousands of times better than that in Jannah. So having an activity like that is making them think and motivate them to say, I want Jannah, and in Jannah I want this and this. So that's the idea behind the activity. So yeah, any questions, you can send them here. Someone is typing, so it's good. In this situation, I do believe that the time, 2 periods for nasiha is on the short side of things. And it's not possible to teach all 7 effectively if you only have 2 periods. So ideally, you would cut out 1 or 2 of the subjects or merge 1 or 2 of the subjects. For example, hadith memorization. Hadith memorization doesn't need to be taught. It's memorization and it could be memorized separately. And so you can utilize the time in order from there for other subjects. And similarly, akhlaq wal adab, it's a subject which is related, they're interrelated topics, and so you merge them as one topic so that you don't spending extra time on one and then extra time on the other. And workbook activities, if you are unable to do them in the class, try to give them as homework, but try to at least start them off beforehand to say this is what we're going to try to do. It's not an ideal situation, and I don't have a solution for that problem of having short time. That's the management that needs to work on that. But ideally, to teach an nasiha, ideally if you have between 2 to 3 days, then you will be able to teach, if not all, then most of it. 4 days is the ideal, because then you can teach all of it. 4 days, 30 minutes, not 40 minutes, 45 minutes, 30 minutes, 4 days will give you a chance to teach everything. But if you have 2 days or 3 days, then you can still manage the topics, inshallah. We've got some questions here from the sisters. If I just read one of the questions from the sisters, then I will come back to you, inshallah. Apologies. Otherwise, the sisters will be not happy. Says, Assalamu alaikum, to have a video presentation of the hadith and stories of the Prophet ﷺ, we can provide clear explanation and it gets registered in the subconscious mind of the child. So we don't have full videos, but we do have a series of 8 videos on nasihaworld.com. It's cartoons for children, and in there is quizzes and things like that, and the children are able to learn some Islamic values and morals. And online on YouTube, of course, as teachers, you'd have to research and find, but we haven't come across particularly stories of the Prophet, which is solid and very good. If you find something, do share with us, inshallah. One more question, and then we'll come to yourself, inshallah. Is there any lesson plan for Arabic language to teach grammar, etc., etc.? At Al-Nasiha, our focus is Islamic studies. Our focus is Quranic learning. So unfortunately, I don't have an answer for this question. For Arabic, you'd have to look at other resources. Inshallah, one time we get to that point where we can also work with Arabic. The reason why we didn't start with Arabic is because, alhamdulillah, there's lots of resources available for Arabic. Lots of very good resources available for Arabic. So why reinvent the wheel when the Islamic studies is a neglected area? It's an area which needed a lot of work, so we worked on that, alhamdulillah. Yes? Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
What we said is, prioritize do not affect the classroom. So the thing is here, is a positive aspect. The problem is here at the home. Even when it comes to me, it's not affected. But what is happening, what is lying here, but prioritize will affect the classrooms. If that 20% are unhappy, okay, their class, okay, particularly 10% doesn't affect the classroom. That will affect the classroom. The question is it possible for not affected? That is the solution.
Definitely possible. It's definitely possible. It's a state of mind, right? It's the ability to control oneself, right? So it is. You're talking about teachers, right? Not students, teachers. Yeah, it's a state of mind. Of course, in different situations demand different levels of adaptability. So some situation is very serious and it will affect you. But some situations, we're talking about the small things. We're not talking about big matters, really heavy. Of course, when there's a heavy matter, it will affect the classroom also. But ideally, we shouldn't affect. Walaikum salam.
I'm happy that we have included supervised skills based on Islamic perspective. Students. Because one day I got from doctors who are thinking about the Islam, they only have English portion and school of Quran. So I have seen the book. Usually when I made the book, there was psychological theory and everything, just I made activities. But I don't know how people listen to Islamic hadith and this. But when we show that very much the way I saw it was on it. What are the things that you have given as an activity? Can you add this is a creativity, this is more, this is a problem solving, this is decision making, so that it comes in all the students and all.
In the workbook?
Maybe in the workbook.
Okay. Inshallah, we'll take this feedback on. It's a good point because then it makes you think in the right direction. So inshallah, that's something that is possible. We can put some little icons, some little pointers where you know that this is a critical thinking activity, a creative activity, a writing activity. It makes it easy for the teacher to target that particular style and type. Inshallah. No problem. Jazakumullah. Let's answer some more from here on the screen. We've got, if a student is very disrespectful in my class, how do I get them to listen to my classes? A lot of students, especially boys, can't sit still in their place for a long time. How do I handle it? The answer for this, hopefully it will be tomorrow's session. Tomorrow's session is classroom management, so we'll try to answer that then. How do you maintain discipline in the classroom? Attention span is short, again, that's tomorrow. Lesson plan needs with action plan. Yes, of course, lesson plans have to be actionable, where you can actually do something practical with it. The major problem for students is to adopt universities later in their life? Would the Islamic studies and Nasiha suffice them to counter the challenge? If so, how many Nasiha alumni in UK universities? The Nasiha is a primary and secondary level curriculum. It's not a tertiary level, which is college level. And so the students that study this, they study this with the purpose of deen. And so there are a number of people, of course, who will be soon now graduating and going on. But we actually have a next level of book, which is not available yet. Hopefully in January it will be done, completed, which particularly targets the level of students in university. So the challenges that they face, the issues that they face, the problems that they face in universities, targeting those particular topics specifically. Of course, this builds a base, a foundation for that, and then that book will further provide them with guidance of what they should be doing, what they should be understanding, etc. If we take something from the ulama now, inshallah, anyone?
There is a question from Rama
Yes.
asking that when we reach people, some students might be in the Shafi school of thought. So when there is this question regarding the people of Shafi, how do you answer?
When they ask a question about
Shafi Muslim.
Shafi Maslak, well, if I'm not qualified to answer the question, then I can't answer the question. I've got to say I don't know. But better than that, if we know who is in our class. So if I've got 12 students, they're going to be with me for 1 year, for example. So I know, okay, these few boys or these few girls are Shafi. So now when the time comes, I also should equip myself. Maybe buy a book which is Shafi fiqh, maybe go online and research some Shafi fiqh related to the topic that we're going to be teaching. And then we're able to share that with the students. If we don't have the capacity to do that, we go to a scholar, an alima who is Shafi, and ask them to guide the student. If we can't do that, then we tell the student that you must get this from your parents. Because I don't have the knowledge of Shafi over here. The school is Hanafi school, for example. Or the school is a Shafi school, for example, and we don't have the knowledge of answering this particular question, and you can go X, Y, Z. Some more questions over here. We've got suggest few ways to motivate the late boomers or students with less interest in studies. We'll talk a bit about that tomorrow, inshallah. But with regard to motivation, I would recommend, there's a research paper in the book, Science of Learning, how to motivate students. One of the key points they mention is that students who know what they are working for outperform the others by 25%. And when we say know what they're working for, we're talking about they know that what they are studying is going to be of benefit to them in the future for X, Y, and Z reason, not for exams. So of course there is the level of exams that you prepare the children for exams. Even more than that, students who know what value it holds in the future, those students outperform the rest of them by 25%, 25 or 28%, which goes to show that if students know why they are studying something, they will be more motivated. They'll be more motivated to study because there is something that they are working for. And the students are sitting there. There's one way of doing it, you're studying because you have to study. Another one, you're studying because you've got to sit your exams. Another one, they just don't know. They're going to sit there and study something. So out of all of those, the ones that know, they outperform. So that will be motivation. In a class of 40 students, I find it literally difficult to settle them down, even after preparing proper classroom rules. And sometimes I need to be harsh to get them settled. So just 2 ways, please. Firstly, I need to see this classroom of 40 students. Because 40 students, I know it might be, sometimes it does happen, where you need to have a classroom of lots of students. But ideally, the less the students, and this is a challenge of staffing and all of this, but ideally the less the students, the better it will be. Even with 40 students, putting in place certain things, inshallah, should help. And again, we'll cover some of these tomorrow. We've got lots of questions. I'll take 2 more and then go to the brothers if there is any. Is there any activity through which we can grasp the focus of students fully? There's no activity. There's no way to grasp the attention of students fully. Then you just have to do, hypnotize. You have to hypnotize them and they will be yours. It's not possible. right? Of course, we try our best with different ways, and we try the different types of activities, and you'll get most of them. If not more, you'll get all of them most of the time. That's the key here. We don't get everyone all the time. And the last one, how do you teach time management? Time management is related to classroom management. So we'll talk about that there, inshallah. Anyone from the brothers? We still have quite a few in the sisters. 25% more motivated. It's in. I'll show it to you. It's in the book, the research that was done. They did the research, so inshallah we'll show you the research itself. There is a conclusion that they draw based on the research that was made. Say again? There is nothing specific. No, that's two different points. Yeah, this one is about motivation, and that question is about getting them all to the same level. So it's two different points. Yeah. Above the rest of the students. So you compare, you look at the baseline where you start from. Of course, so that's you compare the baseline. Once you have the baseline, you look at the finishing line, and then you're able to see the increase in both. So this one started from 50% and it got to 75%. This one started from 10% and it got to 75%, for example. So now you can see the difference in both of them based on the work that has been done. Say again? It's possible. It is of course possible. You know, the point of research is not to say this is the end all and be all. The point of research is this is an assistant to help us in what we can potentially do. The science behind it is written in the book. I'll show it to you. Just behind you, the book is there. Jazakallah. Let's answer the questions on the screen, and then we'll end. The time right now is 21. We'll finish by past, inshallah. We've got how to encourage grade 3 to 5 students to pray 5 times salah. Already encouraging students by giving stars class, any other unique thing. I think encouragement is definitely important. With children who are young, stars and rewards are important, and they will actually be encouraged. Not only that, but create one idea that we try to use is a peer system, where groups of students are collectively in groups, and as a group you are rewarded for performing. What that does is it creates positive peer pressure, where they are motivating each other. Did you pray your salah? Did you pray your salah? Did you do this as well? And they will helping each other, and we're not always having to go after them, creating that little system within the class and then rewarding them based on that. That's one idea. Maybe there is others as well. How do we ensure the values are embedded within our students and it has been followed in every path of their life, like family, society? As I mentioned, we're in charge of implementation, not impact. So what we've got to do is we've got to try to involve the parents into our teaching. You already have, mashallah, events that parents come to. What we've tried to do is we invite the parents to ceremonies and to awards and to programs on a regular basis, once every 2 months. And in those times, we are encouraging the parents to create an environment in the home and encouraging the students to share with their parents what they have learned. And actually, there's one thing called Iman Mudhakara. I'll try to spend some time on that tomorrow, inshallah, which is a very good way of motivating students who will then go ahead and motivate their surroundings as well, inshallah. Some activities are a bit difficult. Can I get a guide of an already done workbook? If you message us on our WhatsApp number on the website, we'll always provide you with the answer if you're struggling with any questions in the workbook, inshallah. In this era of AI, how do you teach discipline? Tomorrow, inshallah. And the final question that we've got is, how do we get access to the teacher's manual? So the teacher's manual in physical form, you can leave your contact details, and they will you will be able to find out where you can purchase the physical books from. They are available. Digital form, they will be available soon, but it will be through a subscription, of paid subscription, where you don't just get the book, you also get teachers training online. You also get PowerPoint presentations which are specific to lessons and things like that. You also get access to a variety of materials which are online. So that's not been released yet, but when that is released, you'll get all of these books in digital format. So you can copy and paste into your own lesson plans as well, inshallah. I think if that's all the questions, then we're going to end that over here. I'd like to thank yourselves. You took the time out, mashallah, and you attended today's session. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you immensely, grant you barakah, make you the best of teachers, the followers of the sunnah of our beloved Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala open our minds and hearts to what is right, what is correct, and to do what is best for our students, inshallah. I end with this, and once again, as a reminder, there is the gift for yourselves. Inshallah, you can take a diary and a calendar for yourself, and then we'll see you tomorrow, inshallah, for tomorrow's session, which will be classroom management, how we can effectively manage classroom. Again, I'm just going to be sharing things that we have seen, whether it works or not, that is up to Allah, inshallah. Jazakumullahu khairah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد ان لا اله الا انت نستغفرك ونتوب اليك. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد ان لا اله الا انت نستغفرك ونتوب اليك.